Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, which most people that will be on this video are, welcome to my channel. We're having a bit of a weird one today. This is this video is not planned. The planned video I had in mind was a nice little Halloweeny pumpkin carving, but because that went wrong, we're going to be reading horror stories off Reddit instead. So I haven't, as you can see, I'm typing these out as I'm going. I haven't read any of these at all. We are literally we're just getting to these. So if you give me some slack with this video, it was last minute, it was unarranged, it was not the planned video I had for today, so I've just got to find some horror stories and then we'll be reading them. So happy Halloween, guys. Sorry for the mishmash video, but I know things go wrong, so we'll get on with it. Okay then guys, so we are going on the r/no-sleep subreddit today, and we'll be reading them off here. Yeah. Tell you what, we'll go with the first one we come across, which is by user Genuinely Grim, and it's I found a strange note in my garden. It had 4 items. Number 1, X marks the spot. I examined a piece of paper I'd found hiding beneath the apple tree. Here it was, clear as day. A sketch of my own backyard. I'd come out to see if the trees needed additional coat of paint when it caught my eye, gently fluttering in the wind. Ever had drawn it had been really meticulous with the details, even the crumbling garden gnome next to the patio was accounted for. What was it? A buried treasure? A prank? Probably. I mean, paper disintegrates, right? So whoever put it in must have done so recently. How else would I be able to make out the X directly on top of my vegetable patch, directly beneath my feet? I blinked. 10 minutes? 10 minutes from what? Judging by the state of the piece of paper, it had been more like 10 hours? Was I missing something? I furrowed my brow. Why would they place a key inside? I mean, the main reason for burying a treasure in the first place is to keep it safe, right? Of course, the note didn't explicitly state it was treasure, but what else could it be? Especially if it came with a key. I wondered whether I should tell my wife. The treasure was most definitely something she'd be interested in. Lately, she'd been more and more preoccupied with people outside of our relationship. I'd asked her about it once or twice, but she'd always chalked my concern up to my own insecurities. I looked down at the plot directly beneath my feet. I wasn't exactly stepping on the position of the X, but I was dangerously close. I flicked the note in my hands, wondering if there was something to bring all the pieces together, but that was it. As you can see, the property comes with a large backyard. My wife's voice rang from the patio. Please take a seat, Mr. Jones. I hid behind the apple tree, watching my wife beckoning to a strange man in an orange fleece. What on earth was going on? What were they doing here? What's this? I heard the man ask. I peeked out from my hiding place. A briefcase? But what was it doing on the patio chair? Sorry, my wife said. My ex-husband was a magician. Let me relieve you of it. Wait a minute. Ex-husband? To my knowledge, my wife had only been married once. A magician? The man replied, with apparent wonder in his voice. What kind of tricks did he perform? Even from where I was standing, I heard my wife sigh in an exasperated manner. Oh, I don't know, he liked that. What's his name? Houdini? Houdini? The man exclaimed, clasping his hands. So he was an escape artist. His expression was jovial, but my wife didn't smile. Something like that, she said, before adding, so you're interested in buying the house? I gawked at her, my skin prickling. Buying the house? Was she selling our property behind my back? I was about to make myself known when a small gleaming object in the grass caught my attention. I crouched down to pick it up, my heart thudding in my chest. It was a key. A handcuff key. My stomach lurched. What was a handcuff key doing in our garden? And why? I gasped as I noticed red imprints around my wrist. They bloomed across my skin, raw and chaffed, as of an intense struggle. I stared at them, at the vegetable patch, and then at my wife still chatting away to the man. My blood ran cold as I realised what had happened. It wasn't treasure that was buried. It was me. The note was a memo I'd left for my wife. Ooh. These are juicy. We'll go on short scary stories though, because that was pretty long. Give me a minute to swap my AirPod around because I don't want this to sound absolutely awful like it's going to. Okay, for now we're giving up on the AirPods and we're just going to go with regular audio, so it's going to sound awful, but I give up. I'll get a set of earphones or something next month, but... Okay, so I've just been scrolling through to see what comes up. We'll have a look at this one. So these ones are, yeah, that one's a lot shorter than the other one. So, this one's by user A Clockwork Monkey. 'Twas the night of Halloween. 'Twas the night of All Hallows, when all through the graves sat young Jimmy, shaking, alone and afraid. The wind was a-whipping the trees with such glee, and a howling moan sprung up on the breeze. The dead were restless and all rotten in their crypts, while visions of human flesh was fresh on their lips, and skeletons shook, and the ghouls were a blur, and the witches a-cackled, and the werewolves sprung fur. And out in the cemetery, there arose such a clatter, young Jimmy sprung up to see what was the matter. Away to the tombstone he flew like a flash, to the most gruesome sight he beheld sliding through a sash. Slash. The moon was bloated and bright and foul, gave the lustre of midnight a menacing scowl. When what to his horror should appear out of air so thin, but a man cloaked in shadows with a head of a pumpkin, with a wicked old scythe so deadly and thin, he knew in a moment it must be the Pumpkin King. More creatures came seeping from under the ground, and he whistled and shouted to a horde of hellhounds. Now devil, now horrid, now gruesome and Hades, come, dreadnought, come basher, come crusher and rabies, to the children sleeping, to the town and the mall. Now get away, and snatch them all. Sorry, I've just realised I was using my cursor to read, so that's going to come up on I'm sorry. All dry leaves scattered, and the wild hurricane flew. He whipped out a trumpet, and a screaming he blew. So out of the graveyard his horrid horde raced. Each wicked one howled with murder on their face. And then in a wrinkling Jimmy heard on the breeze the shuffle of dead footsteps and a rattling. I've lost where I was. Let me try that again. Genuinely lost where I was. And then in a wrinkling, Jimmy heard on the breeze the shuffle of dead footsteps and a rattling wheeze. As young Jimmy drew in a trembling hand, the Pumpkin King twirled, his minions stumbled around, dressed in torn garbs from their head to their feet, blood dribbling down their faces, and past gnashing teeth. Skeletons, ghouls, and witches and frights went off in search of a terrifying bite. The Pumpkin King turned and regarded the young boy, his eyes, how they peered from a soul-sucking void. His wicked sharp mouth was hitched up in a grin, and his body in tatters, so gangly and thin. Fire bellowed in his eyes and passed embers of teeth. The smoke encircled his head like a shrieking wreath. He curled out a finger as white as bone and beckoned to Jimmy to follow alone. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his task, frightening the people who laughed at his mask. "You don't scare us," was all that they said, and giving a jerk they took off his head. He sprang to their faces and slammed down his crown, and away they vanished, never to be found. But Jimmy heard him exclaim, eerie divided, out of sight, "Happy Halloween to all, and to all a good night." That's really cool. That was great, I like that. That one looked interesting above it, actually. No. Because this video seems to be getting on a little bit, we're going to do some 2-sentence horrors, because I saw that knocking about somewhere. There we go. Sobbing frantically, I picked myself up from the bloodied floor and ran to push the masked man off my husband while sirens rang louder and louder. "Please, I'm begging you, sir. Run and save yourself before his friends get here." Ooh, jeez. That one, I cannot pronounce that name, but I will leave it on the screen somewhere. That one was good. I was having dinner with my father and his new wife when suddenly he went to the other room. His wife looked at me dead in the eyes and quietly said, "I have no idea who that man is." That one was by Use a Little Devil 21. I stood on top of the cliff, staring at the sun, overwhelmed by its beauty. I couldn't avert my gaze. My vision slowly blurred as my eyes were clawed out by crows. This one's good. I just caught my daughter playing with herself again. Why do I have to tell her so many times? We doppelgangers need to be cautious and keep the originals locked up and hidden. Otherwise our secret will get out. That one's really good. I've not been liking these as I've been going. Jeez, whoops. Or have I? Yeah, I have. It was just that one that I didn't like. I just caught my daughter. Oh wait, that one was by Oh no, that's why I didn't like that one. The one that I just read was by Taste of the Hemlock. Using time travel, he'd finally managed to make it back moments before his family was killed. It was his 7th trip, and killing them still felt great. Wow. The repeat. That word. Again, I'll leave that somewhere on the video. Oh. I think we're going to leave it here, but although it didn't go to plan, that still went better than the first one. So, okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy Halloween, stay safe, enjoy yourselves, and the same goes with bonfire night, because I will be busy that night. So I'm not going to be able to post videos. Sorry it's taken me so long to get the second one up. However, I'll try to post more regularly now. Okay, stay safe, happy trick-or-treating, happy Halloween. Love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!